What's up, guys? Teddy Cornwell here. Welcome to the Underdog Talk. Something about the Underdog Talk. Today we have a very special guest. I mean, you can't see right now, but the tatted legend himself. So before we get into this interview, I have to give this man a proper Underdog Talk introduction. Wait. Let's
Yeah.
go! You know I have to rock this shirt.
I did not mentally know you had that shirt.
I mean, we're full of surprises here on the Underdog Talk. Today's
That's
guest
great.
is a bright mind from South University, a man who rose fast in the ranks at General Nutrition Center, a girl dad, a proud America energy addict, and finally, the national sales director of Arms Race Nutrition, the buffest tatted guy I know, Mr. David Dodrill. What is up, man? How you been?
Man, you got my name right on the first try. When Doug hired me, it took him like 4 months to get that. That's great.
Hell yeah. I mean, that was some research we did. I was like, I got to make sure everything. I do enunciation. So David, Dodd, and then real. So tried to add all that up. But before we go into the interview, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see what David's in right now. I mean, David is in a literal arms race van traveling the country. So first off, David, I have to ask, how many miles have you traveled on this cross-country trip for yours?
As of right now, the van was bought brand new March 16th of last year. We got 93,189 miles.
David, I don't even want to know how much money has been spent on gas. I don't. I know that's a king's ransom, and I know that's enough money to buy me maybe a whole GNC worth of arms race. So, wow. I mean, before we get into this interview, I want to do one more thing. I'm introducing a new part of the Underdog Talk where I do a motivational or inspirational quote. And today's quote actually comes from David himself.
Here, give me 1 second. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you are good.
It sounds like this is off a little bit. Let me see if I can pull that off. There we go. All right, now say something. See if.
All right, there we go. I mean, there's technical difficulties when we're in a van. This is all part of the process. You hear me?
Yep, you're good.
All part of the process. Technical difficulties when you're in a van on a cross-country trip. That's just expected. So again, I'm introducing.
I'm in the middle. I literally pulled in like by a power station in Colorado. So.
Oh golly. Well, I'm introducing a motivational quote, and today it's actually from David himself. Others will always try to bring you down. Your path is simple. It's all success. If it's what you need, do what you like, and do it honestly. I love that one. Always be you. Don't ever change. So, David, you rocked that quote. But, David, I do want to go into who you are. I want to go all the way back to June 26th of 2016. You started out at GNC as a store manager. Now, did you always have a love for the supplements and the fitness industry, David?
Yeah. I mean, what originally started me is, I mean, I post occasionally, but I don't make my feed about this. I used to weigh 430 pounds. And it's really funny. Like, if you've ever watched Family Guy, I look like Chris Griffin. Like, straight up blonde hair. I wore, like, a backwards blue hat. There was 1 year, and if you don't know, I'm a huge wrestling fan, but I picked up a muscle, and it had Triple H on the cover.
Ooh.
And that's really all I wanted to look like. That was my goal. It's like, I got to look like this guy. This guy looks sick, just in jeans and no shirt. So like I lost 190 in a year. From there, I started competing. I was really lucky to get some great friends at the beginning of my little journey. I was able to hang out with a group around like Rob and Dana Lynn Bailey a lot growing up, and that really, like, I feel shaped my mind and just connections to people and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I had done some other things. I had opened my own business for a little bit, and I had a friend that's like, hey, do you want to work out part-time at GNC? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I started as a part-time associate, and 2 weeks later I got my own store.
So Here's $1 million question. You get promoted to senior store manager. Now, when is the first time you heard about arms race nutrition?
It was actually the launch. The packaging really caught my attention. It had this grungy feel to it. I'm a 90s kid, so I don't know, just the look of it the day it came in, I was addicted to it. We all sold Ghost at that point. I mean, working at GNC, it's like, hey, sell Ghost.
Yeah.
But at that like moment, I was like, this looks like something I would take. I didn't know anything about Julian at the time. I didn't realize Doug Miller was behind it. It was just the packaging alone really caught my eye. So I would say September, October 2019.
All right.
Like right before they launched in GNC.
So then now February 2021, you make a huge step and you decide to be a full-time arms race member. So how did all that happen?
You know, and you know this from GNC. Well, let me turn around and ask you a question. How long have you been with GNC?
About 4 years now. 4 years coming up.
So obviously we're aware things changed 2 years ago.
Yep. Yep.
Well, I'm not going to say for better or worse. But I will say at the time, my assistant, who is actually senior vice president of another supplement company right now, how you got paid in GNC kind of changed.
Yes.
And he would always mention, he's like, you sell a lot of arms race. And no one got paid to sell arms race or anything like that anymore. But what I really felt is when he asked me that question, I was like, why did I sell arms race? The reason being is because a year prior, and I won't say the word in case this goes on YouTube, but we're aware of the sickness that happened across America.
Yes.
But what ended up happening was they were supposed to do an event at my store in Columbus, Ohio. Arms race was coming down. They pulled out 2 days prior based upon what happened. The Arnold got canceled. Everything got canceled. The person that still showed up was Doug Miller and Patrick Mabe, his partner. And Doug kind of joked with me that day after meeting me. He's like, do you want to move to Virginia? Come work with me? And I just laughed and shrugged it off. And I didn't know this at the time, but when he left, he looked at his partner. He's like, he's going to work for us one day. I just don't know when or what. And so that was essentially my answer when he asked me that question, like, why am I selling arms race, all this time later? And I was like, it's because Doug was a great guy. Like, just meeting him, he didn't have to still come and visit me. He didn't have to still go and drop off shirts and stuff like that. So I really admired him for that. Fast forward a whole nother year later, as we're having this conversation, I kind of reached out to Doug because I was like, well, something kind of changed in the supplement world. You didn't have people come and visiting you during those times. You didn't have people really educating you. And arms race came in. It was this huge deal made by GNC. And then with everything that happened, the bankruptcy, I realized arms race kind of sat behind in a gondola. And it wasn't painted as an exclusive brand to GNC, which it's still a struggle making that very clear across the board. Arms race is completely exclusive at GNC. It was made for GNC. And, I reached out to Doug and I was like, I got an idea. And he's like, call me, what's your idea? And we talked about it. And it's really funny because in my head, I was just pitching him something I felt would help.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking I was the person for it. Doug kind of asked me the question on the spot. He's like, is this a job you want? And I was like, yeah, it is. And it made sense at the time. So, the thing I'll always take away from Doug is Doug gives opportunities. He asked me, he said, figure out how much this will cost me. I reached out to a lot of my friends in the industry, and I got back with him. I was like, it's going to cost this much in car stock. Vehicle is going to cost this much. This is how we're going to do this, and this is how it pays for itself, especially with this partnership with GNC. So Doug allowed me to create the job from scratch. They weren't hiring at all. It was a good idea. And still to this day, I feel like it was the right move. We grew a lot last year with me being on the road. Because I just have one simple thing. I think supplement world's changing to where, the turnover rate's so high and things like that. But we really need to educate these people in stores. I mean, that's really need them to be able to help people. And without the education level, people aren't getting helped right. So that was my pitch. I would travel the country and educate them. And that's pretty much how it all came to be, realistically.
I think, David, you read my mind. I mean, now David is in a arms race van, traveling the country, informed about arms race, giving products. I mean, that is an amazing process. How you and Doug really work to create something that's unique.
No, wait, it's not
That's
1,000% my home.
That's his baby. I mean, that's his baby. I mean, wow. And I mean, I got to ask you, David, what made you? So you talked about why arms race really stood out to you. If you wouldn't mind explaining your slogan, old school dedication, modern science, what does that exactly mean?
So it was more of a blend between Julian Smith and Doug Miller. Julian's an old school fan of bodybuilding. Our whole marketing is around, I would say, late 80s, early 90s. So it's just that old school approach. And then Doug is that modern science. In case you don't know, in case people watching don't know, Doug's not just arms race. We have core nutritionals, we have America Energy, we have America Labs. Doug also owns a chain of retail stores called Nutrition Corners. So Doug Doug does a lot. So he formulates a lot too. So that's really where that science came in. It was more of a mixture between those two. So that was our brand. Like, I think every supplement company needs to really just think about a brand. So it's relatable to people. You can make the best supplements in the world, but if it's not relatable, then no one's going to buy it.
Now, David, where do you see arms race down the road? Because obviously you keep on getting bigger and bigger each year. People are now knowing about your supplements more than ever. What is arms race in 5 years? What does it look like?
Man, it'd be better if you asked me that question in 2 weeks. Me and Doug have some meetings next week. If they go great, I would say arms race would be in top 5 of all supplements in America. I just see arms race not being a brand to sell out. There's so many different avenues in supplement world right now, and I feel it's a $1 billion business. It is, but I feel like we're going to be one of the ones that you stand the test of time. You still make great stuff that people come back for. You don't sell out. You'll never see somebody else owning arms race. It's always going to be Doug and Julian. It's not going to be, we made our money. Let's sell this off to somebody else.
Corporation, yes.
Correct. It's definitely a family vibe. That's the best thing I love about everybody I work with. It's a family, and this is our baby. And if everybody can kind of tell arms race has become my baby. So at the end of the day, I see us being one of the ones that people love using this word innovation. They will think arms race was innovative in the way it markets in the future.
I love that. And I personally, I've been using arms race supplements for a while myself. I love everything about them. You actually came into my GNC and talked about it. And normally I don't buy all that, but the quality of the ingredients is what stood out to me. It's so advanced and so simple at the same time, that old school and new school, and yet it works. That harness makes me feel more like a hungry dog than an underdog. So, I love the products. Guys, check it out at GNC. Now, David, you're in the middle of the van. I know you are a busy guy. You got to go all across country. But are you down for some rapid fire questions before I get you out of here?
Of course.
Hell yeah. Daily pump or harness, if you had to take one for the whole year and you couldn't take the other?
Ooh, what if I spoil stuff and say the new daily pump?
Wow. Is there a new daily pump formula coming out?
There will be a 2nd edition daily pump launching.
Oh, well, that's the correct answer. David, leg day or arm day?
Leg day.
Okay. Well, I like it. No tattoos or work for arms race?
Work for arms race.
I love that.
My tattoos are cool, but I've got so much better ideas down the line. I could have done without some of the tattoos.
All right, that's a correct answer too. Favorite arms race product?
I think clarity is really underlooked. It's mental wellness for stress, anxiety, depression. Clarity is my favorite, but I will say as of right now, we have new greens launching Friday, and the chocolate bliss immunity greens has been just, I feel like a little kid in a candy store. That's been my favorite right now.
You see, I have tried your arms race greens, and not only are they packed with the greens and the superfoods, but the taste is what stands out too. You're often getting that chalky super greens, but with arms race, the greens is just spot on. So again, the chocolate one, I mean, I'm a chocolate fan. So David, I'm gonna be a little kid with you in that candy store. Favorite flavor of
One
fountain?
scoop of that with one scoop of oh, this carries over. Um, chocolate lava cake, because I've been mixing that with the chocolate greens.
Okay, so that carries over into that. And I was going to say lava cake too. That little pieces of the cake. Oh, that's to die for. That is to die for. Two more questions, and these are the two biggest ones to me. Talk like Rocky for the rest of your life, or have to box Rocky in his prime.
Man, I'm not a fighter. Rocky in his prime.
Okay, I'll give you some training.
Do something, do it right.
I'll give you some training too. So this isn't just putting you into the ring. Now, David, this is the last one, and this is a big one. Pull-ups or chin-ups?
Ooh, I'm gonna say pull-ups. Chin-ups is good to be fancy, but I've back development and just I've never seen a real need for just the full extra little chin-up. I feel my muscle a lot better doing pull-ups.
I think that is the only right answer. I think pull-ups is the correct answer. Chin-ups are nice, but pull-ups, they work the whole body. They're hard. But David, I was going to ask, it's been an honor and privilege. Is there anything you want to plug?
No. I'm pretty good. I'll plug the Nut Bash on June 11th and 12th. That's in Virginia Beach. Arms Race is going to be there. All of our brands, it's going to be big. I'm just plugging it because you had Rise on the other day, and Rise and Noel will be there. So yeah, anybody in the area, you are more than welcome to come if you can get down to Virginia. I think that'll be pretty fun.
Hell yeah. And I mean, don't forget to check my guys' Instagram it's David Dodrill, literally all underscore name together. Check out Arms Race Nutrition at GNC or online. I mean, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to check out David and Arms Race content. I mean, as you guys saw, we have some big guests coming on the Underdog Talk. Until next time, Underdog out.